Hello guys, and today I'm going to show you a brief story about a man who was arrested and charged with damaging property in Tesco's by simply pulling off some sheets of plastic and other barriers so that people could buy some clothes. In Wales, sheets of plastic have been put in over clothing and other items in supermarkets to stop people buying them. The reason is because some of the clothing shops said, why should we shut because of this COVID-19 coronavirus issue when supermarkets are allowed to sell them? Now, over here in England, I can go into a supermarket and buy clothes if I wanted to. There's no, but in Wales, apparently you can't, even though it's still part of Britain, okay, due to something called devolution, okay, which means that in Wales they can have some slightly different laws to us if they wish to, okay, and do things slightly differently, okay. And so now this is from the BBC News website, and apparently the guy himself got someone to film him doing it. Apparently, I don't understand, but somehow he's been filmed doing it, and he's been ordered to pay £200 cost to Tesco for what you're about to see. Okay.
Well, since when has clothes been exempt? Kids' clothes makes a disgrace. Coming into winter now, look at that. It's a disgrace. All we need to do is don't comply, just take them off.
Can't do another, innit?
No, since when has clothes been non-essential? Since when has clothes? It's coming to winter.
Do you not think it's wrong?
And for doing that, he was fined £200. Okay. Now, is he some sort of vigilante hero that thinks that children and other people have a right to be warm? Does he think it's wrong that people aren't allowed to go out and buy clothing if they genuinely need them because they're cold? This is what happens if somebody decides to take the law into their own hands, not to do something that they think is in the public interest. They get arrested and fined. But was he doing the right thing or not? Who is correct? Is England right to say people can go into supermarkets and buy clothing? Or is Wales right by saying that you shouldn't be allowed to buy clothing because if you do, then other shops can also ask why they've been asked to shut? This issue has been debated in Parliament, particularly in the Welsh Assembly, which is the Welsh Parliament, where a lot of people are not happy with the fact that they can't go into a supermarket and buy certain things. They think it's absolutely ridiculous, as the supermarket is already open. They don't see why they can't just sell things anyway. And the Welsh Government's answer to this is that they had to do that because it wouldn't be fair to shops that sold only clothing that they're told to shut. On the other hand, England take a different view and say that, you know, if you want to buy clothing from a supermarket, you can, even if they've told other shops to shut down, because the view is the supermarket's already open. So England and Wales have a different viewpoint on this. And I think the problem is sometimes, you know, you see stuff like this where people try to do the right thing, you know, even though sometimes it can be stupid. And this is you know, like stopping people from buying stuff from a shop, like clothing, which some people think is being really stupid. And some people are saying, well, who should matter most? Should it be the shops, or should it be the public? I mean, you know, because after all, you could argue if a supermarket is open, the staff are already there, and people are already in the supermarket, so it doesn't matter. So if people go out and buy clothes while they're there, it's not going to endanger the life of the staff or the customers any more than if they couldn't buy it. And this debate is going on, I believe, even now, I think. Right? You know, and nobody can decide whether England's right or Wales is right on this, you know. Personally, I think a lot of this coronavirus stuff is grossly overhyped, and I think with things like clothing, I would consider to some extent an essential item. Okay, maybe not if they're an expensive boutique, because people don't have to go out and buy the most expensive clothing. But I think if somebody's genuinely run out of underwear, or you know, or they've had an accident or something, and I don't know, their clothes have been destroyed in some way, they should be able to go out and buy replacement clothing. So I think England's got it right. We should be able to buy clothing if we want from a supermarket. On the other hand, you know, I don't see what the problem is, frankly. I also don't see a problem with some smaller, you know, shops that sell clothing being open either. I just think maybe expensive boutiques may be over the top if they're really trying to close a lot of shops down. But I think clothing is essential for many people, especially during winter, because otherwise they could freeze to death. Particularly if they, you know, run out of clothing, or some clothes have got damaged or lost or stolen. You know, I mean, you do get these strange perverts that break into people's houses and steal clothing for fun. Particularly, you know, some men, you know, boys and men who are immoral break into women's houses and then steal all their bras or something, you know, and their underwear for their own weird sexual fetishes. And so, you know, if that had happened to a woman, where she'd been broken into and had all her underwear stolen, surely she would need to go out and buy more underwear. And it's ridiculous that you're saying, you know, to a woman, well, I'm very sorry, you just have to go without any underwear, because we're not going to let you go into a shop and buy any underwear. That seems to me ridiculous. I mean, I don't know if underwear is an exempt item they do sell in the store, but, you know, I think a lot of this has gone too far anyway. But anyway, that's my view on it, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.